Golden Retrievers are believed to be amongst the smartest of all dogs. As a bigger breed, they can be slow to mature and love to play. Some can even keep their spirited, puppyish personality until they are 3 or 4 years old. And they generally love any game that involves retrieving or carrying things. In their new surroundings, these active, intelligent pups love playing with whatever they can find. A fluffy sheep takes the brunt of a brutal chewing attack. To enhance mental stimulation, their owner has introduced a colourful rope tug toy, which is a lot of fun to chase, but results in an almighty puppy tangle. Environments rich in new and interesting things positively affect the development of the brain itself. It increases the number of connections in the pup's brains. Mum Elsa keeps a close eye on them as her puppies actively learn through play in front of her. Our next set of pups are learning fast too, by absorbing novel smells and sights in the world around them. We last met the bull mastiffs when they were let out of their pen for the very first time. Today is equally exciting. These pups' brains will be tested to their limits. Scientists are still trying to work out just how clever dogs are. Bull mastiffs are not renowned as the sharpest tools in the box, but this little fellow seems to have a special ability. He can walk through walls. The gate swings open and they pile out. Selective breeding has not just dramatically changed the way dogs look, but it's also driven major changes in the canine brain. In many short-snouted dog breeds like these bull mastiffs, the brain region controlling smell has drifted down to the lowest position in the skull. These bold pups are super inquisitive about the world around them, and at this age they are hardwired to meet anything new with boundless curiosity. In a few weeks' time, they will be approaching the end of this period and are likely to become naturally cautious or even fearful of things they haven't encountered before. Their human owner is trying to gently introduce them to lots of things in the world around them before this happens. And today, she's got a surprise in store for them. A giant mirror. She's going to see how these unruly pups react to seeing their reflections. Here comes the smallest of the litter, Tickle. She's got no idea what's in store for her. At first, there seems to be something interesting in the grass. But then... Who's that? They don't seem to smell quite right. Yikes, still there. Perhaps she wants to play. She must be hiding behind here somewhere. Time for some of the others to have a go. None of the pups recognise they're seeing their own reflection in the mirror. Human infants gain this ability shortly after 18 months, but in dogs, this never happens. That's because, unlike humans, dogs don't have a complex sense of self. With their tiny brains overloaded with new information, these bull mastiff pups have learned enough for one day. Last time we met smart pup Coral, she was just 8 weeks old and playing with her brothers and sisters in a hay barn. Now the rest of the litter have gone to new homes, and Coral has been left alone with her owner. Cocker Spaniels are generally very clever dogs. And this sharp pup is well on her way to becoming a working dog on her owner's farm. Coral will spend the next 5 weeks in her most sensitive learning period. Things absorbed during that time could stick with her for life. It's 8:30, so it's feeding time for the ducks and the doves on the farm. Here they all come. If she's lucky, Coral might be able to meet some of them. At this key age, her owner is introducing Coral to all the features of day-to-day life on the farm. Coral is fixated with these beautiful white birds, and they seem to be keeping a beady eye on her. They've had quite enough of this inquisitive pup. It's through the gate and into the walled garden for Coral's first ever lesson. Coral's human dad has arranged for some elementary training to stretch her developing brain. It's going to be a mind-blowing day. Today is her very first go on a lead, an essential skill. Coral thinks it's a nice new toy to chase down and bite. And it's fun having tug-of-war with Dad. She's leaping all over the place. This is going to take some getting used to. Time for the next step of the lesson. Cocker Spaniels often have a desire to fetch and return, an essential skill for a working dog. This trait has been selected over many generations and so appears stronger in working Cocker Spaniels compared to many other breeds. Mr. Duck, her favourite toy. It's time to see if Coral's natural instincts have begun to kick in. Repetition will develop new neural pathways in her brain as she learns. Her owner doesn't want her to chew it. That's not what working retrievers are supposed to do. Coral needs to learn to willfully give it up for another exciting chance to chase. So far, so good. But Coral, where are you going now?
Coral, bring it here.
There we go. But Coral, you're going to have to get better at giving it back. Not bad at all for a first attempt.
This isn't just a motorcycle. It's an engineering miracle. A time machine.
It's a good friend. It's all your friends.
It's your inner child. And it's all the stars in the sky.
It's a highway to your final form.
And as America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive protects whatever it means to you.
Wait, are you talking to me? Sorry, I can't hear anything with this thing on.
This isn't just
No, I thought.
Oh, that's you, sorry.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan. We don't handle criminal or divorce cases. We are personal injury attorneys. That's what we do, that's all we do. Whether your injury is from a slip and fall, auto accident, or medical mistake, you know the local lawyers at Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan. We've successfully represented you, our clients, for over 40 years. Barnes, Cohen & Sullivan. Call today for your free consultation.
I'm Justin Sylvester.
And I'm Blakely Thornton.
Join us for Yestergaze, where we break down pop culture historical moments that excited the queers of yesteryear.
Dawson's Creek Oscar nominee Michelle Williams doing Justin Timberlake doing a black scent.
Get out of here.
Honestly, if Diana Ross did a Dodge Ram commercial,
It'd be phenomenal.
leather
Please.
dash, wood trim.
Eddie Bauer trim.
Oh, with gays, that's a 5-minute movie.
It's not all work and no play. There's another resident on the farm that Coral always loves to see. She's off to find him. It's Yoda, a 4-year-old Norfolk Terrier. He can only just squeeze his sizable frame through the cat flap. Coral's still small enough to slip through easily. Meeting with other dogs is important for Coral at this age. She's learning to be socially savvy. They love to chase each other in the farmhouse garden, compete for their human owner's attention, and bound around together happily. Careful, Coral. Yoda is a wise old friendly teacher. We'll catch up with smart Coral later and see how she's getting on with her training. Our next set of pups are much less advanced. They've only just begun to learn. As we meet them for the first time, in South London, a litter of Sealyham Terriers are now 2 weeks old. It's been shown that puppies start to learn within their first few days of life. But this lot still spend most of their time snoozing in a big puppy pile. At this age, if we were to look at their brain waves, it would be impossible to tell whether they were asleep or awake. These 5 pups are very special. Sealyham Terriers are one of the rarest breeds to be found in the UK. Only around 100 puppies were born last year. At 14 days, they've learned to stand and are working out how to take their first tentative steps around the box. They're trying hard to fully open their eyes, although their vision is still very blurred. Their little brains are working overtime to visually process the world around them. They don't seem to enjoy this wicker picnic basket. Tipping the scales at nearly 3/4 of a kilo, it's good news so far. At this point, their tiny brains are only about 8 cubic centimetres. Mum jumps back into the box to check on them. Immediately, they all sense her body warmth with their tiny noses and crawl towards her. This little guy's got himself into a bit of a tangle. Once the world comes into focus around them, this little lot will adapt their behaviour as they begin to broaden their horizons. Previously, we met Moriarty, the Irish wolfhound, on the day he left his mother and travelled to his new home in Norfolk. Today, this giant pup is off on his first mind-expanding visit to the seaside in sunny Suffolk. At 17 weeks, he's still growing rapidly and is already bigger than many other dogs. Even though he's still piling on 2 kilograms every week, he's still only about 1/3 of his final adult weight. Eventually, he'll weigh around 80 kilograms. Moriarty loves promenading on the pier with the sea air in his shaggy mane. Oh, hello. And this obedient Canis Familiaris will now follow his human owner everywhere he goes. By getting his smart puppy brain in gear, he's now learned to be pretty good on the lead. And this furry pirate will stick his head anywhere that looks exciting. All this walking around in the sunshine is exhausting. Time for a drink. As such large dogs, Irish wolfhounds are well known for their ability to drink like camels. Moriarty is no exception. It's important that this young pup stays hydrated to keep cool in the sunshine and make sure he keeps on developing as he should. A refreshed Moriarty strolls on. There are lots of friendly people and dogs to say hello to. But this novice social butterfly is still learning from each doggy interaction. But then Moriarty meets Bella and is ever so interested in this older lady. She offers a play bow, but it's a bit much for Moriarty. Meeting other dogs when on the lead can be difficult. It restricts their ability to select a doggy interaction distance that both dogs are happy with. This young pup has lots to learn. He hasn't nailed his social etiquette quite yet. Next, they're off to a place that's destined to become a firm favourite, the butcher's shop. If you do have to leave your dog outside, it must only be for a very short period. Ideally, they should be able to see you, as many dogs become distressed if tied up alone. And legally, in public, they should always be under your control. Leaving them with someone you know is a good option. Smart Moriarty has to learn he's not allowed inside. What you can't see is that inside his doggy brain, the smell centre is going wild. He's failing to contain his excitement. Moriarty, it's your lucky day. Bones should always be given to your dog raw. Apart from removing some of the nutrients, cooked bones can break into dangerous brittle shards. After a busy day, Moriarty gets to relax on his picnic blanket with his doggy hamper. Like all dogs, his brain has evolved to enjoy a good bone. Our next unruly litter need to learn a great deal to catch up with Moriarty. They still only socialise with each other. We first met the Hungarian Vizsla puppies at 10 days old. And we followed them as they found their legs and started wobbling around the house. Now at 6 weeks, they're bigger and bolder. Here they all come. Their human dads laid out a real treat and they tuck straight into a bowl of puppy milk. But the star attraction is still their human owner. Vizslas are generally very affectionate, and these pups all want a piece of the love. Their brains were actually developing quickest before they were born, but they're still rapidly changing. Hungarian Vizslas were originally bred in Europe a few hundred years ago to be a robust hunting dog. They've got a beautiful, sleek, golden rust coat and well-defined muscles. One of the endurance athletes of the dog world, they'll happily run off-lead all day long, covering huge distances. But owners have to be careful. When an interesting sight or scent is found, they can ignore calls and commands. These inquisitive pups need constant mental stimulation. And today, their owners have created a playpen full of interesting toys. Open sesame. In they go. And it's very exciting. It's a key time when environmental stimulation impacts on their mental development. Their brains are like sponges soaking up all these new experiences. Giant tubes are lots of fun. There's somewhere to hide. And with tentative paws, they challenge their newfound sense of balance. Whoops! They seem to think there's room for everyone. A special delivery. A tidal wave of straw. They love the crackly noise it makes. And the crunchy taste. Play fighting is an essential behaviour for their development. They're busy cementing bonds, and it's helping to shape their individual personalities. At this age, they play lots more and learn much quicker than their adult counterparts. But they will learn to modify their play behaviour as they grow older, with full body checks like this one becoming rare in adult dogs. It's all an exciting adventure for these young pups. We'll see the Vizslas again later on their first ever trip to the beach.
I have bladder control issues. I was always confused at the store and felt uncomfortable. Then I tried HGIS. They specialize in incontinence.
Try a full case of Reassure Protective Underwear. Call 800-401-9427.
In the heavy-duty industry, you need maximum performance and minimum downtime. We have the experience and expertise to get you there. Because at Valvoline, we're more than just engine oil. We're your partners in performance.
You're looking for a career with purpose. The healthcare industry relies on people like you. At Miller Mott College, our online healthcare programs train in industry-relevant skills so you can work toward a career you're proud of. Learn at your pace, on your schedule. Our flexible online programs build skills that power today's workplaces and get real support from instructors who've been there. Find your online program. Visit millermontcollege.edu. You work hard at your job, but what are you working towards? Train online in business at Miller Mott College. You can learn skills that solve problems, help teams grow, and power today's workplaces. Find your online program. Visit millermontcollege.edu.
Letterpress, a timeless craft, celebrated for deep impression. It begins with the design etched into a custom plate. Ink is applied by hand. The plate pressed into cotton paper. Every piece unique. This is letterpress.
Connect round thingy 1 to round thingy 2. Is there a round thingy?
Back in Bath, it's a big day for the Golden Retriever puppies. They're now 8 weeks old and have grown considerably. Each pup weighs about 5 kilograms, and although we can't see them, their puppy brains are now 10 times their birth size. But who's this? Today is the most important day of Dakin's little life so far. He doesn't know it yet, but from today, he has to learn to live without the support of his mother and litter. Some friendly hands appear, and it's all rather exciting. Dakin has a sniff and a little nibble. He's swept up into his new owner's arms. To start with, an uncertain Dakin can't keep still, but he quickly settles down. Dakin's litter mates are not happy to see him go. In fact, they all want to come along too. A doggy trio, including Mum, are at the gate to say goodbye. An apprehensive Dakin is whisked off to the next phase in his life. We'll catch up with Dakin later and see how he's learning to live with his forever family. Smart pup Dakin is just about to arrive with his forever family. He's already more relaxed in his new owner's arms. Dakin's new doggy palace is a safe haven in this uncertain new environment. He's been given a familiar blanket from his old home. As he learns to live without them, the smell of Mum and his litter mates will give him comfort. Now it's time for a rite of passage for any dog. His first real collar. And most important of all, Dakin finds out where he's going to have his dinner. But there are some alarming noises in this new place, and it puts Dakin's little brain into overdrive. It's very unsettling. His owner's hand gives him some gentle reassurance. But soon he's growing in canine confidence. He's already much happier and is learning to deal with these loud noises. It's time for a look around. The tickly potted plant gets a working over. And this giant step is going to take some getting used to. It's hard to get up. Ever so nearly, Dakin. One step at a time. And importantly, Dakin has made 2 new fun friends. He's going to love living here. Our next pup is streets ahead of Dakin in terms of her doggy training.
Molly, come.
Previously, we saw older pup Molly settling in with her new family and beginning some elementary training. Now at 20 weeks, her brain is its full adult size, but her body has some catching up to do. She's loving family life. But there's one part of country living that Molly really doesn't look forward to. She hates travelling in the car because she suffers from motion sickness. Her ears and eyes send conflicting information to her brain. It's very disorientating. There are a few simple things you can do if your puppy doesn't like car travel. By placing a familiar smelling towel and Molly's favourite toy into the travel crate, her owner is trying to teach Molly that it's all okay. Once Molly is safely on board, her crate is covered by a blanket. Dogs find comfort in small, snug places. If your puppy does get car sick, it's a good idea to turn off the air conditioning and wind down the windows a little to let in some fresh air. Molly's all set for another adventure. Motion sickness generally affects younger puppies, and most dogs grow out of it. If it carries on, Molly might have to get some medication from the vets. As part of her continual training, Molly is going to go for her first paddle in the sea. But not before a good run around. She's flying down the dunes. And quickly playing with her new friend Tor, a 4-year-old pointer. For Molly, this is a chance to really stretch her legs. Pointers are well known for their boundless energy. Originally bred as gun dogs for hunting in 16th century England, they have a hardwired desire to run. That's why it's really important for Molly's development that she continues to get lots of exercise. Her owner is trying to get Molly to learn that taking the plunge can be lots of fun. It's something she's not done before. But pointers can find it difficult to cope with the cold because they only have a thin coat, and a chilly sea doesn't seem immediately enticing. Some gentle words of encouragement and a pat from her owner coaxes Molly to go a little deeper. That's right. Stick close to Mum and you'll be okay. Back on the beach, there are plenty of new friends to be made. Perhaps you should pick on someone your own size, Molly. And she's not afraid of a bit of rough and tumble with her older friend, Tor. By kneeling down and throwing her arms wide open, Mum has taught Molly to respond to a very clear signal. And she comes flying. At the end of the day, the only thing Molly really wants is a cuddle with her human mum. Previously, we saw Cardigan Welsh Corgi Ace when he was just 6.5 weeks old, on his first visit to the vets. Now, at 13 weeks, he's grown considerably and is going to have to use all his intelligence to learn what's required to make it in the world of competitive dog shows. Ace, this is going to test your corgi brain. There are lots of distractions he'll need to overcome. Mainly new puppy friends, Ace is keen to get to know better. He's transfixed by a 7-month-old dachshund. But she's only got eyes for her owner's treats. To make it at the top, Ace will have to learn to do a number of things perfectly. Walking on the lead is the first big challenge. Following his owner's guide, he needs to trot along without skipping or pulling on the lead. Now his brain and nervous system have developed significantly, this coordinated pup pants along happily on his giant paws. But the distractions are proving too much. Ace, you're not gold standard yet. Next up is the judge's inspection. Tiffany, the 6-year-old pointer, is an old hand at this. She stands nice and still with feet equally spread and happily lets her trainer examine her tail, musculature and teeth. Hope you're watching, Ace. It's Ace's turn to be judged. Smaller dogs are placed on a table for easier inspection at dog shows. Ace doesn't know whether to sit down or stand up. In fact, he's not sure what to make of all this manhandling. And he doesn't know why they want to look in his mouth. Finally, he gets to meet his princess. It's Daria, the delicate Russian dachshund, and Ace lets her know his intentions. But she's had enough of this boisterous play. Back off, Ace. That's not how a gentleman is supposed to behave. Ace's training regime has been very different to future working dog Coral's.
Eczema is unpredictable, but you can flare less with Ebglyss. A once-monthly treatment for moderate to severe eczema that helps you spend less time managing your symptoms.
Ebglyss can deliver real and lasting results, like skin that's still more clear at 1 year.
Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Clearer skin, itch relief. Once monthly dosing with or without topicals. You can flare less with Ebglyss. Talk to your doctor about Ebglyss for eczema.
Sometimes, what we want most is a clearer picture. A lung screening can offer insights before symptoms appear It's quick, non-invasive, and often covered by insurance for those who qualify. Learn if you're eligible.
The craziest part was seeing that it works in 1 minute and lasts for up to 8 hours. Plus, virtually no rebound redness.
Seriously. And after your eyes are like, whoa.
True.
License, please.
Coming.
Come on.
Welcome to the finals, where you'll be battling it out for $1 million. There are no more commandments and no more limits. It's time to cook your story.
The America's Culinary Cup season finale, news CBS Wednesday.
The 15-week-old Coral has got accustomed to a very special mode of transport around the farm. For a pup like her, there's only one way to travel in style. She loves to ride in her box on the back of this quad bike. The rush of air brings all sorts of exciting things to her brain's attention. And it's a fantastic way to watch the world go by. But it's time for her next training session. Coral's been training hard each day. Her owner has worked to enhance her natural desire to retrieve, and she's getting very good at it. She's now graduated to a much bigger toy, and she finds the game of fetch ever so exciting. Although it's quite a big toy for such a little pup. And sometimes it's tricky to keep hold of. And she now brings it back almost every single time. All that practice is paying off. Well done, Coral. Now she's mastered that, it's time for the next significant step in her training. But only after a quick break for a cup of coffee. Patience, Coral. Today, her owner is going to introduce her to something she hasn't come across yet, a freshwater stream. Country dog Coral is going to have to get comfortable swimming in dikes and rivers, so this is a gentle introduction. But what is she going to make of it all? Her brain is processing the new sensations of slippery pebbles and chilly water. And after a moment of uncertainty, she's off and breezes down the riverbed. Her owner has already checked to make sure it's not too deep and that the flow is safe for this little pup. She's taken to it like a duck to water. As a reward for doing so well, her human dad has organised a surprise. Coral is going to meet her mother and older sister. She hasn't seen them since she was 8 weeks old. And they're all delighted to see each other. Coral's especially pleased to see her mum. It's not long before it develops into a chase around the garden. Coral has learned ever so much today. The Sealyham Terriers are now 6 weeks old and they're a sprightly bunch, inquisitive about their little puppy world. It's breakfast time and their owners have let them out. This little fella's been left behind and he's not happy. That's better. Diet can affect learning in puppies as it can in young children. And some key nutrients are required to help their little brains develop. these puppies are already eating machines, and the dish is licked clean. Unfortunately, the bowl isn't edible. And there's plenty of fun to be had in the kitchen. This chap has nearly mastered the sideways hop. Today, these pups are broadening their horizons beyond the kitchen. Their owner scoops them up and deposits them one by one in their new doggy safe house. And it doesn't take long for them to summon up the courage to venture out into the back garden for the first time. In these unfamiliar surroundings, they want to explore every nook and cranny. There's lots of new plants to chew. We can't see it, but their brains are programmed to track down all sorts of exciting, novel smells. But soon they settle into a favourite activity. Playtime. Ouch! Smaller breeds generally have slightly smaller brains, but this doesn't mean they're less intelligent. These pups' brains won't reach adult size for another 10 weeks. Whoops, mind that step. And what are these things? There's even a chance to show off some acrobatics. Exhausted by all this new information, today's all been a bit much. Time for a quick snooze. Our Vizsla pups are about to go even further afield, all in aid of some essential puppy learning. They're loaded into the van, where their special puppy travel crate awaits them. Their mum is coming too. It's a big day out, but where are they going? These little pups have not yet had their full set of vaccinations. So today, their owner will not let them out of his sight. Lack of socialisation and exposure to novel environments can be dangerous to the long-term well-being of puppies. At low tide, this blue flag beach is an ideal place to introduce the pups. It's very unlikely to harbour any nasty viruses. It's the first time they've felt sand under their paws. But what do they think? Their little brains find it bewildering. Such a big space, the smell of fresh sea air. Time to explore. Their owner tries to persuade them to dip their paws in the shallows. And they don't seem to mind at all, trotting along happily. These brave pups will even follow him into deeper water. They've done ever so well. All this learning has been exhausting, and they get to warm up on Dad's fleece. Next time, as they set out into the world, we'll discover how puppies have fun and what makes our hounds happy. We'll catch up with Bolt as his mountain search training taps into his instinct to play. Miles the Golden Doodle is reunited with his sister Nellie. And Luna, the Italian greyhound, discovers the joys of puppy paddleboarding.